everybody. How you doing? So who had some beers at lunch? Yeah? I had a beer. It was fantastic. The beer out here is awesome. It's like one of the core reasons to come out here. But essentially, I'm here to talk about social television and gamification. Social television right now is one of the hottest things going on in the industry, as is gamification. So there's a lot of companies and networks in the space, television space, that are putting two together to get some great success. But before I kind of get into and start showcasing what some of them are doing, I want to just kind of walk you through a little bit about the social television landscape and how it's been evolving. Back in the 50s, we've got the family watching television together. That was the water cooler. We've got mom who's multitasking, old school style, reading the newspaper, and then we've got the kids, looks like they're drinking 40s. That was then. This is now. The tech evolution has really driven a revolution of multi-screen interaction and viewing. A couple stats that are up here are really staggering. 50% of US visitors to Facebook also visited a television network site. 76% of US visitors to Twitter also visited TV network and broadcast media sites. So basically, consumers love multiple screens. There was a Nielsen study that came out in January of 2011, basically showcasing that 3 out of 5 TV viewers engage in a 2-screen consumption. I mean, literally, this is what it looks like in my household. But I've got a little baby running around and a couple dogs. But here, it's all about the connected devices. I'm sure everyone here has got a smartphone, a tablet, a connected TV. And really what that's driving is that's driving a lot of the content developers and networks to change the way that they're talking to and engaging with their consumers, their viewers, their users. So what are people doing when they're interacting in social television? Initially it was they're checking in with GetGlue to get a badge. They're talking about what they're watching on Twitter. They're sharing it with their friends on Facebook. Those TV impressions are turning into social expressions. They're being pumped out into the social sphere, and they're basically telling the world what they're doing, what they're watching right now. So the social television check-in space really is kind of funneling all that together and building very much Foursquare-looking applications that kind of get people to check into the shows that they're watching. If you look at this right here, we're seeing some tidbits of gamification going on. We've got leaderboards, conversations flowing. There's badges and stickers. This is a little look at tunerfish right here. SocialGuide, another new company that's burgeoning on the market right now. Again, leaderboards showcasing, well, this is a couple months ago, NBA basketball, showcasing what the top trending shows are. We've got the conversations happening live, real-time communication happening around these shows. Pooter and me are watching NCIS. I'm assuming Pooter is her dog, but maybe it's her boyfriend. Don't really know. You look at places like Miso. Miso are really going beyond just the check-in. Here they've got achievements and leveling up. They're opening up their API systems to allow networks to start building upon their platform. So it's not just about checking in and getting a badge. I know if you've been in the room earlier today, there's a lot of talk about it's not just badges anymore. And it's true. It's not just badges. It's going beyond that. Screen Tribe. Screen Tribe is a very similar system. Here, they're actually got point redemption for tangible goods. So the more you interact and engage, the more points you earn, exchange them in for tangible goods on their system. Fandango movie cards, things like that. And of course, the biggest player in the space is GetGlue. GetGlue is currently down at Comic-Con. There's a social television conference going on right now in LA. They're everywhere. And what they're doing is they're doing the exact same thing. They're opening up their API and letting people play with their platform and really letting the networks build their business for them. So what this really all boils down to is data and analytics. Really, Nielsen, if you look at it, is a broken system for television viewing. It's really a survey-based system that's not a true value of what people are actually buzzing about, what they're talking about, what they're really watching. So companies like Trender TV have built a B2B-facing service that basically takes a leaderboard approach to showing you the most active shows that are on television right now. So they're basically presenting back to the networks a leaderboard of the most active shows that are on television telling us, you know what, you need to get more social. They're basically challenging us to get more social, to plug into their system, start utilizing Twitter and Facebook and GetGlue to get people talking about our shows more so that we can rise up their ranks. Another great data analytics is Bluefin with the TV Genome Project. In this picture, you basically see the cloud of people that are out there talking about all the various television shows that are around here on the bottom. And we take a little snapshot of one of the shows and then how it's all connected to all the different people. You know, it's a community of passionate and engaged strangers. You know, that's the biggest thing. These people don't know each other. You know, how are they going to get connected? They both love a show. They're out there talking about the show. How are they then going to get connected? What are the networks doing to basically take that singular viewing experience and now building it into a community? You know, USA, characters welcome, that's our brand mantra. We're about bringing those people together to try to basically create more content. And all networks are starting to do this now. We're not just the only ones in the space that are doing it. So we're starting to see some really, really interesting things going on in the space, you know, around social television. But, you know, how does this now plug into what gamification is about? How are we then instigating and basically activating users to take action, to get more engaged? To start viewing more, start interacting with all of our content more. You know, that basically leads to the big question. You know, I'm checked in. Now what? You know, great. I got a badge for watching my show. But what's after the check-in? You know, you see these giant peaks and valleys of activity, but it's just the show's on, beep, it's done. You know, we want to be able to engage users beyond that 42 minutes that they're on during an hour, or 22 minutes if they're on a half an hour show, so that the brand experience extends beyond just that one day, so that they're thinking about, talking about, sharing the show brand, the network brand, maybe even every day of their life. Some of the things that the networks are now doing is funneling all of that conversation into their own platforms. What we built at USA Network called Character Chatter. What it's doing is it's really funneling all the real-time communication and interaction happening around our shows. So we're taking certain key terms around, let's say, burn notice, then all the different characters in burn notice. All the activity that's happening on Twitter, on Facebook, on Flickr, on YouTube, on our own proprietary chat system are all being funneled, basically all the data is being sorted through and then presented in Character Chatter. So here you're basically seeing the real-time conversation platform happening around the show. So when the show is actually on air, this stream right here is flying by. These are all the people talking about the show. What we're doing is we're then siphoning through all that data and picking out some of the very interesting topics, the interesting characters, trending keywords, just to start getting people to talk about things that they're watching in the show, and then connecting those people together. You see conversations starting to happen. It's great to start seeing people replying back to streams directly on Chatter. We post polls all the time. We even do live Q&A with a lot of our talent. And you start getting questions that get answered 15 or 16 times by different people in the community that have absolutely no idea who each other are, but then end up becoming friends. And they become friends on Facebook. They might become friends in real life, and basically going into a co-viewing experience in which people are starting to set up dates to watch our shows together, either on Chatter or Twitter or Facebook. A lot of the networks are doing this. Oxygen Live, NBC Talk, NBC Live, Bravo Now, HBO Go has got a beautiful app that has a lot of this real-time communication built into the app, built around the shows that you can watch at your whim. And Grey's Anatomy Sync. That's really around the two-screen experience, doing the audio sync and unlocking exclusive content. So that is kind of a little teaser about what some of the networks have been doing to start latching on to the social television phenomenon and start pushing it forward. One of the things that we did at USA is we actually moved away from developing all of our sites in strictly just Flash. We started building everything in HTML5. This is because app development for a very small, or well, actually not very small, we're the #1 cable network, but for a small team, we're only about 15 people, we don't have a huge budget, we can't develop 50, 60 apps for every one of our shows and every one of our initiatives. So ubiquitous access for us is very important. So building everything in HTML5 was a huge undertaking, but as soon as we completed the project, you can pull open your tablet, you can pull open your smartphone, laptop, it doesn't really matter. The site looks fantastic, form, function, engagement is great. What we've also done is taken the chatter stream that we saw earlier and modified it so that when you're browsing on the site, no matter what page you go to, this chatter bar is across the bottom. And really what that's doing is that's showcasing the live conversation happening around the show while you're on the site. So you can then click on it and expand your experience. So what I'm about to show you is, there we go, a video that we put together that really puts together that chatter idea, social television idea, and the gamification. Basically being able to call people to action to engage with our content, be rewarded for doing so, extend their engagement with the show beyond just the television or linear experience. So take a look.
WWE fans are loyal, engaged, and fully committed. With the goal of connecting fans to each other and to the WWE characters, USA Network created a comprehensive app establishing a second screen approach to accompany the reality competition series Tough Enough.
It's a test of endurance. It's a mental test as well. It's a test of how tough you really are.
Go! Set! Go! While Tough Enough is creating a buzz on air, the WWE Tough Enough second screen experience is changing the way people watch TV by creating a welcoming environment that promotes a community-building approach to live television viewing.
Whoa, guys!
Viewers can join the buzz by logging on to USA's fresh online hotspot, Chatter. Chatter is a real-time conversation hub that funnels the live conversation, video, and photo streams from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Flickr. Chatter enables fans to join the conversation wherever they are, allowing them to interact with each other, and, for the first time, with show participants who tweet live during the show. In-show, on-air snipes tease show-related questions and drive viewers online to Chatter. Participants can also earn Tough Club reward points for visiting Chatter, collecting points that can be redeemed for real and virtual goods. USA's comprehensive approach also means a first-ever iPhone, iPad, and Android app that creates a complete social television experience. The app enables sharing through Chatter, encourages in-show check-ins to unlock exclusive content, and gives Tough Club points to fans who use the app. Now fans can engage before, during, and after the show, and across multiple platforms, expanding their experience and moving them from passive viewers to active participants in the Tough Enough series.
Hell yeah!
Since the show's premiere, the Tough Enough Chatter page has seen more than 400,000 page views, and the Tough Club has 30,000 members to date. The mobile app has been downloaded over 51,000 times, and fans have unlocked over 43,000 pieces of exclusive video content. With Tough Enough, USA has created a unique online experience that seamlessly bridges the fan community with live television events, creating a brand new way to engage with the WWE and its superstars. USA Network. Interactive Emmy Awards, welcome.
So a lot of stuff coming at you right there. It's like a WWE show. But that's really kind of the way that we're moving forward with a lot of our programming, is that we want to be able to provide enough content for all of the levels of users and viewers that we have on our shows. So for the people that want to just come in and passively watch the show's there. It's fantastic. But we also have great deep experiences that bring people into our content a little bit further. You know, for some of our more veteran shows, you know, Psych, Burn Notice, which is in its 5th season now, we literally have 5 years of content on the site. Video, games, trivia, polls, BTS footage with the cast and crew. For anyone that's new coming into one of these experiences, they might just know about the newest season, but they might not know that there's all this great deep content that's happening about the show. It's all there on the site. It's all there from your mobile device, your tablet, what have you. So last summer, actually coming out of this event, we went and developed our first kind of gamified television property, and it was called ClubPsych. And really, we look at it as a kind of a consumer relationship marketing platform. And it's really about the relationship we have with our consumers, our users, our viewers. And it's really, really simple. You know, we're challenging users every single day. So one day a week, we'll tell them to go watch a video. The next day, we'll ask them to answer a poll, play a game. By doing so, they basically start accruing points called ClubPsych points. And then can redeem those points in for merchandise, for exclusive content from the show. You know, we didn't really know what to expect when we first rolled this out for Psych. And the reason why we chose Psych, it has a really strong 18 to 34-year-old demographic, about 2 million people. It has about 2 million fans on Facebook, so we know that they had a lot of tech-savvy fans already built in naturally that were on Facebook sharing things socially. They actually call themselves psychos. For us, this seemed like the perfect breeding ground to go test something brand new. Really, this is what ClubPsych looks like. Really simple user design. And this kind of is one of the keys that we found about developing a program like this, is that the user experience has got to be as simple as possible, be very, very straightforward with what this program is about. And you're not going to really confuse anybody. So when we first launched the program, we saw huge traction, 10,000 people signing up on the first day. And for us, we were like, wow, 10,000 people on the first day, that's a huge win. We didn't really know how it was going to progress and how it was going to grow from there. But as we started building this out and as the weeks went on during the season, basically the Psych fans started telling us what they wanted to be able to do in ClubPsych. So we opened up basically a branded room so people can start building out their own rooms with the virtual goods that they were doing their points for. So here we've got the Psych Magic 8 Ball, the Psych Mug. This is in Henry's, if you watch the show, this is Henry's living room. James O'Day here. And people started building their own rooms. But beyond that, people were hoarding their points. They had all these points. They were interacting every single day. And no points were really being redeemed. It was just a little bit here and there for the virtual goods. And then we actually released real merchandise into our store. The day that we released all the real merchandise into the redemption store, we had about 3 million points. Almost all the points that they had accrued in the first couple of weeks of the campaign, all in one day. We sold out. We basically went and bought 2,500 pieces of merchandise from ClubPsych's kind of merchandise store. So it was T-shirts, it was DVDs, signed merchandise from Comic-Con, which is going on. Actually, they're going to be on a panel tomorrow. And people started clamoring for it. We sold out in one day. I mean, it's an amazing stat. When you think about it, you didn't really know what to expect. With that, we moved on to the next season of Psych, which came up in October. And we wanted to bring it to a new level. We wanted to basically take it to the second screen. We saw a few attempts at second screen interaction from some other networks. And we really felt that we wanted to bring it beyond just unlocking something based on an audio tagging or syncing scenario. We wanted the rabid fan base, the brand ambassadors for Psych, to take action. So what we built was the Psych Vision app. The Psych Vision app came out on iOS basically during the finale of Psych. So we wanted to come out during the premiere, but you always come up against some issues when you're developing things, and so we got it to launch during the finale. Not a big deal. Anyway, so when you get into the app, it's really driven to get people to pull out the app while they're watching the show. It doesn't matter whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it via DVR or whether you're watching it via Hulu. There's trigger points throughout the show that get people to activate or to engage with the application. So what we did is we partnered with GetGlue, social television company, so that when you go to check into the app, you sign in with GetGlue, basically say, hey, I'm watching Psych. You check in. There are certain keywords that we utilized that were scrolled across the bottom of the screen, as well as that we seeded out through Facebook and through Twitter. So our social marketing team at USA had about 3 or 4 keywords that they would basically seed out there. And the fans would wait for them every single time the new Psych episode would air. You enter that keyword in and then unlock an exclusive piece of content, as well as earn ClubPsych points, and then, of course, earn your GetGlue fan sticker. This was basically the culmination of looking at the social television industry and saying we need to move beyond just the check-in. This was giving back to the fans and users, rewarding them for engaging with the app itself, and giving them something a little bit beyond just what they're watching on television. One of the things that was a huge hit and got about a million views on YouTube was an 8-minute webisode that we exclusively unlocked from the app. So one of the fans actually took it upon himself to rip off our Kiptronic stream and then put it onto YouTube but it's really cool because it gets a lot more exposure, and they actually said this is an exclusive piece of content that was only available in the application. And for us, and I know for a lot of people out here, the data and the analytics is really important. I'm a data junkie, so I really want to know what's happening, what's cause and effect, what's going on with the consumers when they're engaging with all this material. At the end of the season, we had 100,000 registrants on ClubPsych's platform. 6,000 total pieces of merchandise were redeemed. We saw about 100% merch sales growth from their merch site, and that's not in free. So basically what was happening is people that were going to redeem those 6,000 pieces of merchandise, 47% of them were actually buying a piece of merchandise while they're in the store. So it actually created somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000, $230,000 worth of upside from ClubPsych. Something we didn't even really realize, but something that we're actually looking at very closely now that we understand what's going on there. 25,000 app installs for the second screen experience in 1 week. Honestly, it's not huge numbers, but for us, it's a great start. It's a great learning point. But the real win, obviously, for the television side is the total marketing, social and digital helped drive about a 40% increase in the 18 to 34 demographic for on-air ratings. So we can't attribute just ClubPsych to that, but we know that the efforts around it in total really helped activate that certain demographic. And really, what's next? That's what everyone is asking about. Where's everything going from this? We've got our television screens now, we've got the tablets, we've got the phones. It's all being tied together. Everyone's seeing the connected TVs now, gaming, social television, everything is going to be moving together to a point where you walk into a room, your tablet's going to know what your television is on because you're on the same Wi-Fi network. They'll sync together, and you can start going through some really interesting experiences based on whatever the content providers are putting out there for the specific show. I had another video to show you what one of those little deeper experiences can look like. We're having some technical difficulties here. So what this really means is now we can start working closer with the show writers and producers to start creating some really engaging content, secondary storylines that are really transmedia experiences that will go across mobile, gaming, social, and your television. So really what this video is basically a showcase of one of the things that we launched last season for White Collar and that we're going to be doing a lot more of moving forward.
USA Network has staked its claim atop the cable world for an unprecedented 5 years. But great characters don't only make for great ratings. They make for groundbreaking digital experiences.
Ooh.
Following the success of White Collar's Chasing the Shadow, we created 36 Hours, an immersive first-person point-of-view live-action game redefining the transmedia experience.
Well, how do you make out?
The goal, deeper engagement with the series and the brand. 36 Hours transports fans of White Collar into a virtual world of crime fighting. Fans are tasked with solving their own mystery, connecting them to the show by immersing them in their very own personalized episodic storyline.
Rumor has it you're relieved of duty of the Holotech espionage case.
With the help of Simon, a fellow FBI agent, fans race around the city, uncovering clues and tracking down answers. The game uses high production value to make the experience truly come to life.
Can I help you?
Live action footage is seamlessly blended with interactive gameplay, providing a rich, engaging experience.
Not too shabby, mate.
Players are able to insert themselves into the story through responses to dialogue within the scenes.
Oh, hey. What are you doing here?
And directing the narrative as the plot unfolds. The user experience was expanded by integrating the social sphere. Facebook and Twitter were both used as integral parts of the narrative, allowing players and show fans to interact in a world outside the game, and bringing another level of authenticity to the experience.
Yeah, John.
36 Hours boasts cinematic visuals, a compelling story, and engaging activities. A combination that keeps fans coming back. The game generated nearly 5 million views with 200,000 unique visitors. Over 90% of the players completed each mission they started. There were over 27,000 registered users, with 11,000 of those registering through Facebook. White Collar, 36 Hours. Just one of the ways USA plans to stay on top. USA Network. Interactive Emmy Awards welcome. Over 90% of the players completed each mission they started. There were
So I don't know if anyone noticed, but there was a notification system built into the game experience. This game is now been ported over via Adobe Air, and you can launch it via connected TV, as well as on the tablet. And we're trying to figure out how to shrink it so you can watch it on a smartphone. I don't think it's really viable. But this is just a little showcase of some of the things that the networks are doing in taking social, tapping into the gamification theories, and bringing content experiences to the next level. That's kind of all I had to share today. And if anyone had any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Anybody? Bueller? Voodoo economics? Anybody? Nobody?
So it seems like the hurdle will always be creating the new content. You just showed the 36-hour, and you created this own episodic kind of adventure. Will this line be blurred more? Do you think that like original content will be created more in in hopes of reuse in a game or some other thing? I guess, what do you see the future of these two things that are kind of parallel now, or do they become the same thing? Are we going to see divergence?
Yeah, I think right now they're running in parallel. When you think about a television show, the 42 minutes that you see on air is really a culmination of hours and hours and hours of shot footage and content. It's the blood, sweat, and tears of the writers, of the producers. They're very passionate about their shows. These are their babies. We've got great people working on our shows. Matt Nix, we just launched an interactive graphic novel. Doug Lyman, we just launched a tweetcast, which basically takes you off into a parallel universe of covert affairs with one of the characters, Augie, and kind of tells you the story of how he became blind, if you watch the show, as well as some of the other missions that he's controlling outside of what you're watching on our show. So I think that a lot of the advertisers are very interested in this, and a lot of the fans are very interested in this because it gives them a deeper view into the characters that they're so intimately involved with every single week on the television. Now they can experience that on a much broader and deeper level, and in some cases go in and pretend like they're their characters as well. I mean, when you think about it, these shows are, we're here to entertain people. It's escapism. People want to step into another life and really expand their horizons of what enjoyment is. And we want to do everything we possibly can to do that for them.
Hi. You talked a lot about, or you talked primarily about these experiences being on a secondary screen, a tablet, maybe a smartphone, or the web. With the smart TVs having increasing penetration and the technology still in flux, do you see a transition for social TV to where it exists on the same screen as the primary show? And how would you see that transition work?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and I think it's going to really depend on the type of show you're watching. Sports shows, we're already seeing it on ESPN's feed. You're seeing a constant stream on the bottom of the screen about other sports scores that are going on. For some of the scripted series that I know at USA, we feel really strongly that the screen is the screen, and we want to make sure that we don't have gigantic overlays while you're watching the show. We're starting to see some really cool functionality coming out of Samsung and Vizio, where you can minimize the screen down to 90%, and then you start creating an interactive L-bar, let's call it, where it's got your Twitter feed, it's got your Facebook friend recommendations. We can tie in the point leveling systems and basically your share functionalities right there as well. It's gonna move there, and I think that we need to be able to develop towards that. But at the same time, we want to stay true to what the show is. So we want to be able to have the experience live on its own as a show, with or without the interactive features. But when you start layering it in, we want to make sure it doesn't interfere with what that show is too. No more? Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone.